it sounds a little maybe contrite and Pollyanna-ish to say that you just have to be okay with whatever decision you make and whatever path you go down. It has to feel right to you. And you have to know that however that decision goes, whatever the consequences and benefits of that decision are, you're going to be okay and you'll figure it out. Little example. My son is brilliant. He's in college. He is a aerospace engineer. So he knows stuff like I will never know the stuff he knows. He's in this particular class where my son is on the autism spectrum, very, very brilliant, but there are certain ways of teaching that he cannot connect with. And this particular teacher, he could not connect with. And a lot of students in this class couldn't. A lot of students dropped this class and he hung on as long as he could because he was stubborn. And he had this talk with me and he's like, I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm giving up. I feel like I really need to stay in the class. And I said, you know what? You're the only one that can make the decision. And whatever decision you make, you need to be okay with, and you need to know you're going to be okay. And so think about it. If you stay in this class, are you willing to take the hit if you're not able to pass it? What will that do to you? Is that a consequence? Like, are you okay with that? And if you are, fine. If you leave the class, what are the consequences of that? And are you okay? Can you, let's talk through those. And then I said, whatever decision you make, stick with it and do not look back and do not question it. Take your time in making the decision, but once you make the decision, it's made. And move forward. And he did, and he chose to drop the class. And, his initial thing was, Mom, I'm so sorry. I hope I haven't disappointed you. I dropped the class. I'm like, honey, there is absolutely no disappointment. You made a decision. You are an adult. We talked through at length both sides, the pros and cons of both sides, and you made an adult decision. And I am proud of you. So no, there is absolutely no disappointment in this. And so I feel like that's a really good example of how all of us can go through our entrepreneurial lives. Sometimes the decision paralysis can be so painful. And then you make a decision, you're like, oh, but what if, or sometimes, and money comes. Another thing for him was like the class, it's so expensive because he's at a private college and it's ridiculously expensive. He's like, now I've got to pay for this class again. And I'm like, you know what? You're going to make a lot of money in your life. You're going to spend a lot of money in your life. You're going to lose a lot of money in your life. Money flows, and you cannot make decisions based on money. You can't. And take that out of the equation. It needs to be other things.